Democrats tout election integrity despite past doubts. Special report panel discusses President Biden's continued attacks on MAGA Republicans during swing states trips ahead of the midterms. A Florida woman was arrested Friday after being charged with felony voter fraud for allegedly voting in 2 states during the same election cycle. Cheryl Ann Leslie, 55, of Loxahatchee, Florida, was charged with 2 counts of felony fraud, according to Palm Beach County Jail records. Leslie, who is registered as a Democrat, voted in both the 2020 federal and state primary elections in Florida and Alaska, according to a Florida Department of Law Enforcement, FDLE, news release. Leslie's Alaska votes were submitted by absentee ballot, and her Florida votes were submitted early and in person in Palm Beach County, officials said. Leslie, who works with a senior care facility in Loxahatchee, told investigators that her work as a physician assistant required extensive travel between multiple states. Hillary Clinton laments GOP election deniers in CNN interview, despite past stolen election claims. Cheryl Ann Leslie was arrested in Florida and charged with 2 counts of felony voter fraud. Cheryl Ann Leslie was arrested in Florida and charged with 2 counts of felony voter fraud, Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office via AP. The voting irregularity was originally noticed by Florida Secretary of State's Office of Election Crimes and Security, which then shared the information with FDLE's Election Crime Unit, officials said. Investigators said they found a pattern of double voting as Leslie also voted in both states in 2014, 2016 and 2018. The Florida Department of State, Office of Election Crimes and Security is grateful for our partnership with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, Secretary of State and Chief Election Officer Cord Bird said in a statement. This arrest is yet another confirmation to every eligible Florida voter that the Department of State and FDLE are working together to ensure the integrity of their vote and Florida's elections process. Most candidates for election officiating posts oppose hand-counting measures, survey finds. An official at the Miami-Dade County Elections Department works on tabulating the mail-in ballots that have already been returned for the November 8 general election on October 31, 2022. An official at the Miami-Dade County Elections Department works on tabulating the mail-in ballots that have already been returned for the November 8 general election on October 31, 2022, photo by Joe Riedel/Getty Images. Leslie was being held on $1,000 bail. Jail records didn't list an attorney. Florida's Office of Election Crimes and Security, a police unit created last year as part of legislation signed by Florida Republican Gov. Ron DeSantis, has filed voter fraud charges across the state, including charges filed against 20 people this summer who allegedly voted despite having criminal convictions. Placeholder. Record requests based on 2020 election fraud belief surges in Oregon. Florida Gov. Ron DeSantis looks on before the start of a game between the Georgia Bulldogs and the Florida Gators at TIAA Bank Field on October 29, 2022, in Jacksonville, Florida. Florida Gov. Ron DeSantis looks on before the start of a game between the Georgia Bulldogs and the Florida Gators at TIAA Bank Field on October 29, 2022, in Jacksonville, Florida. James Gilbert/Getty Images. This is against the law, and now they're going to pay the price for it, DeSantis said at the time. 4 people from the village's retirement community were arrested late last year and early this year on voter fraud charges. 2 of them were registered as Republicans while the other 2 had no party affiliation listed.